Hi guys, it's my first game in 3 or 4 days. Been quite busy lately, so let's see how we go. Now, I was watching a streamer last night, a Terran streamer, and who was losing a lot of games to Protoss and getting very frustrated. And you know, one thing I sort of pointed out to him that I thought he wasn't doing that was quite important. He was about a low 4000s player. I'm much lower than that, obviously, but I think it's because of my speed and unit control, etc., rather than my strategic understanding of the game, which I think is higher than my MMR. Is that he wasn't scouting the third base timing. So what would often happen is the Protoss would provide, the indications that Protoss was going to be very aggressive, like maybe a proxy pylon or a late second or something like that, right? And he would then hunker down and defend, right? He would hunker down and defend, and he wouldn't have. He would scout the tech, with the Reaper, which is good, but often he'd lose the Reaper. But then there was very little follow-up scouting, and in many cases he was losing the game because the attack was scouted and prepared for. And so the Protoss pivoted and just said, oh, okay, instead of attacking, what I'll do is into a fortified position with a type of attack that's been scouted. Okay, there's no probe, so I'm just gonna... In the rear. SCV ready. Yeah, the Protoss just basically said, oh, okay, I'll just take nearly third and chrono out probes, right? And then he ended up getting behind. And so I think the third base timing is really, really important. Like, if there's no third base, then there's going to be a big attack coming, and what you should do is play defensively. But if there's an early third base timing, then what you should be doing is trying to go for a push once stim and combat shield is up. Okay, so there's no expansion, so again, the first thing you do, if there's no expansion, is you drop down a bunker as soon as possible.
Add-on, not enough minerals.
So he's chronoing something out there. Okay, there's a cannon. Is this like... What the hell is this?
Our SCVs are under attack.
Okay, I'm gonna lose it if I don't think he took that base. I'm gonna lose it anyway.
Our SCVs are under attack.
Now we did see a Stalker, and we saw a lack of expansion, so that's fine. Okay. So losing one SCV for that information is perfectly good. But yeah, the third base timing will tell you what's the follow-up, like how many units is he building, how aggro is he going to go, etc. And you've got to be careful to, one, not overreact to what your opponent's doing, and two, not assume that they're just never going to change their strategy, right? Based on what you're doing. Like your opponent, in this game, you should be adapting to what your opponent's doing. So I'm actually going to go for a follow-up Reaper here. I'm going to go for a tank because we saw an early Stalker.
Command center upgrade complete.
Now walling off, it's a double-edged sword walling off because it's good against sort of DTs, it's good against zealots, etc. But on the other hand,
Add-on complete.
on the other hand, actually I'll send it down here. You're risking your supply depots. Okay, so what we're going to go do with this is first we'll scout for proxy pylons or something, and then we'll go and But this is a situation here where either there's we don't know, is there going to be a big attack coming, or is he just going to go, oh okay, he scouted it, whatever, I'm just going to take 3 bases at once. You really need to know that. So we'll go for Raven. Yes, sir. So what you do here is you build a Raven, then you can swap the barracks onto the tech lab. Okay, so we want to see firstly what his tech is. Okay, he's got a cannon there to deny scouting. Now that's a pretty expensive investment. Okay, so see, look, he's got a lot of probes here. Okay, he's recalling. So what's he actually recalling? Okay, he's got a bunch of Stalkers. Okay, so this is really good information, right? That's dead. Doesn't matter. That was worth it. So we keep making tanks. It's probably going to be a blink build. Oh, is that actually a wall? Oh, it is. Nice.
SCV ready. Gangway coming through.
So what we're going to do is we're going to swap this over after the Raven is built. So we'll put this here.
Base is under attack.
Raven online.
Unacceptable landing zone.
SCV ready.
Now what he's going to try to do next is blink into my base, most likely. So we're going to send some of these up here. I'll leave one here actually to preemptively repair. Same with this one.
What's going on? SCV.
Additional supply depots required.
Oops, I haven't dropped supply depots, that's a mistake.
Good job.
Insufficient rescue gas.
Now he could also blink over this side, so we have to be a bit careful. Now I don't see any observer. Gonna go for a medevac and a Viking when I can afford it.
Additional supply depots required. Insufficient rescue gas.
And I need the gas to start the rest of 1-1. Okay.
Not enough minerals.
Okay. So again, this is an example of when knowing the third base timing would actually be really good, but it's not going to be that easy. But we want to wait until we have extended combat shield, and then we can just go for that attack. Okay, now we need to watch out for warp prisms, things like that.
Gangway coming through. In the rear with the key. SCV ready. Go ahead. Bandit. SCV ready.
Mineral field research complete.
So yeah, there's been no follow-up, so there's a good chance that he's taking up. Stim's done.
SCV
Not enough minerals.
Should probably start to add some turrets. Okay, so there's no third base here.
ready. Who wants some?
So I'm looking also for how many
Not enough minerals.
SCV ready.
Okay, I'm actually going to scan here. Yeah, okay. So he's chronoing storm. So this is an example where we're just going to take everything up,
We can use some help here.
except for our Viking. We'll keep the Viking.
Bad news.
Ready for
Let's go. So he's scouting the river out. Okay.
Not enough minerals. Add-on complete.
Okay, we'll add these to it.
Talk to me.
This better be good. SCV. Who wants some?
Research complete. Not enough mineral field depleted.
Okay.
Armed and ready. Ready to roll out. Come ahead. You gonna give me orders? Boom, baby.
Ready for dust off. Waiting on you.
By the numbers. It's about to get heavy.
Acknowledge.
Okay. So was that good? I don't know. What we need is a Ghost Academy. We know Storm is very good. And we need to stop building tanks. And you know, we could almost go for another push here, because we'll go into Thor production.
Mineral field depleted.
SCV ready. Outstanding.
Now his units are very expensive, remember that. Void rates aren't very good against Marines.
This better be good. SCV ready.
get the High Templars. Yeah.
By the numbers, boys. This better be good.
Command center up.
Let's get these void rays, which are very expensive. So yeah, this was pretty clean. And oh my god, look how many photon cannons he's built. This is, by the way, we'll review the game, but this is really silly this early in the game. Okay, now like later in the game, sure, right? If you're on like 6 bases and you're banking ridiculous amounts of money, you're maxed out for upgrades and stuff. Sure, like spend your money on this kind of stuff. But think about how much money he spent here that was completely useless because I happened to attack him on this side, right? So this is the problem with static defense. You know, like it's static, right? If you've got units instead, you can pull the units over here. You know, what if I drop in on this side? You know, what if I come in through here? The other thing is that even, you know, with static defense, say if you have one cannon to defend against, like, I don't know, like Banshees or something, if you kill the cannon, or if you have one cannon here to deny the drop and I just fly over it, yeah. So let's have a look at the stats first. Okay, this is a 3,300 Protoss, right? I think that's the strongest Protoss I've ever beaten, and I did so, I would say, with relative ease. I think you'd agree. And you know, if we look at my performance, you know, my APM is 123, right? It's not like I'm you know, like super fast and super efficient. This is just coming from a strategic understanding of the game, right? He was Diamond 3 as well. So let's see if this was a good example of what I was talking about in terms of scouting the third, etc. I'm surprised that a Diamond 3 Protoss, you know, like a 3-3 Protoss is going for like a photon cannon and a forge this early. Like, I mean, you know, like there's a lot of debates about whether Protoss is overpowered, but I think, you know, like, you know, imagine if you're a Terran and you were like going for an engineering bay and a missile turret before you took your second, you know, it wouldn't even be, you wouldn't be getting anywhere near Diamond in a very long time. You have to have extremely optimized builds. So I actually did, I'm an idiot. I think I saw the cannon with my CV, but I didn't register it until later in the game. So I thought, is there some kind of cheese going on here? Like, yeah, and I lost their CV. It was a bit annoying because I wanted to go and scout to see if they'd taken a hidden base here, but I lost their CV and I didn't get the information. What's worse also is that I should know. This is where it helps if you play the other races. If you play the other races, you would know that it would be impossible to afford an expansion if you've already built all this, right? So so that was a little bit unnecessary. I should have just got out with my SCV, but that's okay. We did see that the first unit was a Stalker, and that matters because it tells you, you know, like it tells you need a bunker. It also tells you should build tanks. Often, if they're going to go into Blink and build a lot of Stalkers, they will start to build Stalkers straight away, right? It's logical. But yeah, I think this, if you see no expansion, the first thing you should do is drop a bunker straight away, even before you start Marine production. Because if you build Marines and you don't have a bunker, they're useless, right? In the early game. And so it's very, very important you get that up. And so he chronoed out a Stalker. If I hadn't have SCV scouted, and I didn't have a bunker ready, you know, you can get yourself in trouble. If the bunker's just almost finished, he kills the SCV, there's no bunker, he starts kiting the Marines, and then, you know, maybe picks off another worker. It can cascade pretty quickly, right? So yeah, make sure you always do that. But you don't want to take it really early blindly. You know, if he goes Nexus first, then there's no need to rush a bunker. And so yeah, like you need to scout and adapt to what your opponent is doing. But yeah, he did no probe scout. If there's no probe scout, I like to actually go reactor first and then scout with the SCV, because you get the information earlier than if you wait for the Reaper, and you get more Marines out faster, which is important. Against it's not going to be good against all things, but on balance it's usually better. So he's just chronoing Stalkers for early pressure, taking late expand, and he's built that cannon to deny the Reaper.
Research complete.
The problem for him is that I saw that he had a cannon with my SCV scout. Okay, so if we look at the game situation, at the moment, I'm ahead on Econ. One worker ahead, plus I've got 2 sets of meals. And I've got a slight supply lead here, so yeah, he's just building a lot of Stalkers, but the weird thing is, okay, he has got Twilight, and I assume he's going for Blink here. Yeah. No Robo. So, yeah. So the thing is, like, I mean, he couldn't have got anything done with those Stalkers anyway. I'm well prepared. I have a tank, I have a bunker, I have a full wall off, and I have Marines, and he's only just started Blink. But yeah, the thing with this, he didn't leave a single unit at home. He tried to rely on this cannon. And what I should have done is probably just jump in here, but I knew I couldn't get out. You actually can't jump here. And I probably should have gone and scout the tech, but I thought, hey, I'm going to get a good look at his army. So yeah, I know exactly what his army looks like now, right? So it's going to be Blink pressure. I know he hasn't taken a third yet, but yeah, intelligently he takes a third as soon as I leave.
Let our enemy know.
Yeah. Now this is what I mean at this stage about overreaction. See, like just because he was going for Blink Stalkers, okay, and he built some, doesn't mean that he's just going to keep building more Stalkers and do a 2-base all in. This is a game of adaptation. So he sees that I've got a wall, I've got a bunker, I've got tanks. He knows that I've got a full scout of what he's doing. So he decides to change his strategy, right? He decides he's going to go into Stargate and take another base, right? So this is the thing that the guy that I was watching last night, I think the mistake he was making is simply assuming that your opponent is not going to change what they're doing in response to what you do. Okay, so yeah, he goes into Storm. So this is when I go out. Is this when I'm going out from third base scout? I'm a little bit late going out for the third base scout, because I was still worried about him blinking into my main. But he's going to Storm and Stargate. So this is a situation here where the lack of information is really hurting, because I actually have enough to just win the game here. Okay, because like Stim is almost done, right? So if I took everything and went across the map, what has he actually got? He's got 6 Stalkers. Okay, he's got 6 Stalkers. So this is what I mean. Like, even I fell into the trap a little bit. I've got a tank here. I've got a tank here. I'm looking out for observers. You know, I'm playing kind of, you know, worried about that there's going to be a big blink into my main. And he's got friggin' 6 Stalkers. That's it. And he's spending all of his money on double Stargate. He's queued Void Ray production. He's getting Storm while taking a third and soon to take a 4th base. So you've got to be very careful about this. So I'm sending these scouts out a little bit late, but I think it might pay even just to build another Reaper or something and just always have a scouting unit out having a look. So if I had attacked here with 20 Marines, 3 tanks, a medevac Raven with Stim coming, I would have just won the game. Now what he does have is he's here to try to scout when I'm moving out. So yeah, he's spreading out. Yeah, taking a 4th base, and he's still, you know, has. So he sees to move out now. So I'm not moving out too late. I'm moving out later than is ideal. And this, yeah, because he's banking money. How many gateways does he have? Right, only 3 gateways. So he's over-invested in photon cannons everywhere. 4 gateways. He's banking money because he doesn't have enough production. So yeah, and he's trying to compensate for that by building static defense. So we do get a bit wrecked by the storm, but I think you'll find that the units lost are actually pretty even. So behind the before this fight, okay, so before this fight we've traded slightly better, and I think it ends roughly similar, right?
Prismatic.
Yeah, I'm about to lose those tanks. So okay, we did lose 400 resources more, but you know we reset the High Templar count to 0, and we got some void rays, but we also scouted exactly what he was doing, right? So yeah, and he's compensating for his lack of production now by building more gates. The gates are too late, and building lots and lots of static defense. And it's strange because I just attacked from this direction. So yeah, he's just trying to spend his money, I think. But yeah, this follow-up attack. The thing is that my units are very cost efficient. See, these are still low energy because they've only just been warped in. Yeah, so this was the right time to attack because his High Templar I don't think have enough energy for Storm yet. I think it's 75. I might be wrong about that. I'll have to check.
Base is under attack.
So now look at the resources lost, right?
Prismatic.
We embrace the glorious battle.
Yeah, and Void Rays just aren't good against the Void Rays just aren't good against the Marines. So he's relying. He didn't have anywhere near enough charge lots because he's got too many. He was too slow to increase his gateway count. He's only got 1 forge. He's got no upgrades versus my 1-1, and actually my 2-2 is almost done. Right, so he's relying on Storm, which carried the first fight. But you know I've got a Ghost Academy done now, and I just need to go into a few ghosts and then like EMP the High Templar, and then his Storm damage is completely nullified. And these Void Rays are just useless against Marines. Are incredibly cost inefficient. So yeah, he just needed way more charge lots. He did more High Templar earlier, so he had energy. And this big investment into Void Rays really just didn't pay off. So yeah, I mean, look at the resources lost. Look at the supply. So yeah, this was a pretty clean game, and I would say definitely my strongest win against Protoss 3-3. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed watching and found this educational. Cheers.